Hello everybody, I'm Anthony. I play in a band called the Arkells. I'm the keyboardist of the band. And we're here today at the Roland Inspirational Center in Toronto, Canada. We're going to talk a little bit today about the role the piano plays in our newest single, Knocking at the Door, and how I kind of figured out how to fit within a super loud rock band. Guitars up to 11, pounding drums, aggressive vocals. Where does the piano fit in that sort of stuff, in 2017? Here's the verse. So we have three main chords. We have an E minor, we have a C, and we have a G. We're not going to play the full chords. We're going to use just a couple of notes from each chord. So for the first one, for our E minor, we're going to use an E in the left hand and a G in the right hand. If your fingers are big enough, you might be able to play those both at the same time. I can't do that. My hands aren't big enough. So for the next chord, the C, we're going to do a C in the left hand and an E in the right hand. And then for the last chord, the G, we're going to do a G and a D. And this all kind of takes place in the lower half of the keyboard. And let's talk about the timing. So the E is going to have its own bar. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Our C is going to have half a bar, 1, 2, and then our G is going to have also half a bar, 3, 4. So just to play that out in real time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that just repeats 4 times. I want to strengthen the bottom end of the tune. So it wouldn't have been enough just to kind of play octaves. It's kind of boring, right? No one else is playing the song. You don't know if the chord is a major or a minor. So if by adding that third over top, you kind of have some harmony, but it's still a little gritty. And it punches through a little bit too, adding that third in, adding the top notes in, not just an octave. It can punch through all the rest of the band. So we've just talked about the verse. We're going to move on to the pre-chorus. So after that rotation ends, the fourth rotation of the verse, it's going to lead us into our first chord of the pre-chorus. So the pre-chorus, there's not anything else really happening in the tune except for myself, Max, our singer, and we have trumpet. So let's talk about the chords. It's only about 3 or 4 chords. We have a C, a D, an E minor, and a G. And I'm just playing very simple triads on the top hand. Root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th. Timing-wise, to add that playfulness, the D is going to sound more like a passing chord. 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The second half, when you get to the G, we're going to outline Max's vocal on the lyrics, like it's some parade. I'll play that for you. Like it's some parade. Oh, very nice singing voice today. Like it's some parade. Okay, so, right? So just to add a little bit of harmony to it, with the left hand, you're going to play a G and just kind of hold it there. Right hand, with your thumb, play a D, and then outline the melody with whatever fingers you got left. So every note of the melody, we have a D playing at the same time. Okay, so every time you hit a melody note, you're going to play a D at the same time, just to add some extra harmony. Left hand stays on the G and then moves down to a C. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. All together. So this is the chorus of Knocking at the Door. Okay, so we're going to break this up into two parts, so right hand and then left hand. Basically, what the drummer is doing, what Tim, our drummer, is doing is playing very quick 16th notes while accenting 2 and 4. The right hand is super easy. We're just accenting the 2 and the 4 to count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Note-wise, just an octave on the B with an E in the middle, because our main chord is an E chord, right? So leave out the third. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That goes the entire span of the chorus. The left hand is going to be playing our main horn line. Okay, so let's break it down. We're going to have an E going up to an A. This is all in octaves. An E going to an A, back to an E. Then we're going to go A, B, C, and then G. And the timing of it, 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So this might take a second to kind of try and line these two up, but I'll show you how to play it here. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the first half. That repeats 3 times. The second half, you're just going to play in the left hand an A, B, C, and a D, while keeping our right hand. So I'll show you that one again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the end of our chorus. So throw all those together, three times through. And then end with. And that's our chorus. Here's the solo. Sounds complicated. It's really just this old jazz scale called the pentatonic scale, and we just kind of keep repeating the notes as we go along. So let's talk about a pentatonic scale for a second. So we have our root. In this case, it's an E. We go up to the minor third. In this case, it's a G. To the fourth, A. To the fifth, B. And to the minor seventh, which is a D. So you're going to take all of those notes. You're going to start on your E. I used an octave. You don't have to if you don't want to. Start on an E. Come down 3 notes. So E, D, D. Now you're going to start on the minor seventh. So a D, same thing. Come down 3 notes. And we're using that scale. D, B, A. Go back up. Now you're starting on a B on the fifth. Come down 3 notes. B, A, G. Again, starting on the A, G, E. Now you're just going to finish it off with 3 notes. B, A, and G. And then end on an E. So let's do that in real time. And we're going to be using triplets as we play. So triplet, 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 right? So triplet, 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 triplet. And then end with your crunchy left hand, which is going to be a B, and an E. You can also hit the keyboard if you want. But let's put all this together. So we start with our chunky left hand chord. triplet, 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 triplet. Triplet, 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 triplet. Into the next half of the bridge, which starts on an A minor. So this is super simple. We have two chords. We have an A minor and an E minor. And in between, as a passing chord, we're going to throw in a G. So I'll count it out for you. 1, starting on the A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4, and with the G. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and E minor. 2, 3, 4, and. Right? Always, the end is always with a G. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Moving into the second half of the bridge. Okay, so what do we do there? We're going to start with a D over an F sharp. Now this is like a huge gospel move. A lot of gospel music has slash chords. And so this one's starting with the D, starting with your left hand on an F sharp, and throw a D major chord in your right hand. You hear the difference in tonality, right? If I threw a D in the left hand, kind of sounds boring. Throw the F sharp. Gives a little bit of color. So start with your D over F sharp, then move to a G. That's the first rise up. Rise up. Kind of sounds like we're rising up, getting out of bed. And then we move from a G to an A minor. And repeat that. Same thing, G to A minor. Now in the second half, we're going to kind of start pumping it a little bit, just playing eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and go to the A minor. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we go to a C chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now we're starting to kind of slow down a little bit because we're getting into the quiet chorus. And there's a little bit of melody you can play. Start on your G, F sharp, E, and a D. Kind of like a backwards major scale. And that all takes place on the D chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and leads us into the last chorus. And for the last chorus, right before everybody comes back in, I get the spotlight again. And it's just the chords of the chorus, but instead of playing your 1, 2, 3, 4, we're actually going to play the chords. So we go E minor to a C and a G. And you can play that anywhere you want, really. I played it up here. Doesn't really matter where you play it, as long as you're a little softer. And then you come back into the last chorus. Back to our end off with the second half of the chorus. And that's the end of it. So we just had a huge part there. Let's recap everything we did from the solo all the way to the end of the quiet piano part. Solo. Don't forget those triplets. Triplet, 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 triplet. This leads us into the first half of the bridge, the A minor. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. Alternating between A minor and E minor. Then we're coming into the second half of this bridge now. That D over F sharp. Rising up. Rising up again. Another rise up. Now we're going to finish off this bridge with those pumped eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 into your C. Now that little melody, G, F sharp, E, D, coming into the very quiet chorus, E minor, then C, G. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, 1, 2, G. And the very last chorus, big shot on the E minor, as loud as you want, then into our regular chorus vibes. End off our chorus with our A, B, C, D, and we're done. I'm Anthony, I play keyboards in Arkells, and that's how you play Knocking at the Door. Thanks for watching.